All right. So this movie I watched yesterday. It just came out apparently. It's called Against the Ice. I saw this on Netflix. The algorithm was feeding me this movie. It was like, I know you like ice, and I know you like dogs, so I'm gonna make you watch this movie. Um, so this movie is based on like some historical event that I don't know much about. But whatever. It's cool. It's interesting, and so it's set in like 1909, and like there's like an expedition to Greenland, also known as Greenland, also known as Green L apostrophe N D Greenland, right? You know how they say that shit. And so but they decide to go on like a side expedition of some kind to like look for like proof of some like channel or river or something. And okay, so I'm just gonna let you know I'm a dog fan. So I'm thinking to myself, like in the little, like, so you know how like when you open up Netflix and they've got like the movie advert on the top of like the list, and this like a trailer starts playing. I see the dogs in the trailer. I like snow, I like ice, I like dogs. So I'm thinking, all right, this movie might be wholesome. It is not wholesome. It is not wholesome at all. This movie sucks. But okay, so it's actually not that bad. But this movie is like it's like two. It's divided in two halves. There's half one where like they go on the side expedition, right? And they bring their dogs. I'm telling you this right now. I'm gonna just turn the stream off for like 10 minutes, and if this is a problem for you. But part of the movie is okay. So again, they've got like sleds, and each sled is carried by like a pack of five dogs. By the time that they get back, there's zero dogs. Every single one of the dog dies. Every single one of them dies. And even worse, they feed the dead dogs to the other dogs. Like, I started crying. I was crying. I don't even know why I continued watching the movie, but I did. I was just thinking, well, you just get to talk about this on the stream tomorrow. But anyway, so they feed the dead dogs to the living dogs. And then the living dogs die. There's one dog that falls off a fucking cliff. Like, dogs get eaten by polar bears. Like, it is horrible. Then the humans eat the dogs. Then the last dogs die, and they're like, well, let's eat the dogs. But anyway, it's horrible. It's like torture. It's disgusting. The first half of the movie is horrible. But anyway, so they get back home, except, psych, because their buddies left them there. So this is like 1910, right? So they're still like exploring Greenland or something. So the buddies that they had left them there. They left them there, and so the two guys get back, and the buddies like just sailed away back to like Denmark or wherever it was. And they sailed back, but they left them like a year's worth of food. So then the second half of the movie is they're like trapped in the Arctic of Greenland, right? And they go crazy, right? So the first half of the movie is like, oh my God, they're eating dogs. Like, these motherfuckers are fucked up. Then the second half of the movie is they're stuck. They're isolated. Now, this is apparently based on a true story, right? They are isolated in the Arctic of Greenland for 2 years, right? And they got nothing, right? So they go crazy. And then, like, so the second half of the movie is actually really good. It's like a psychological thriller, right? Where it's like, there's two guys stranded, and they kind of like don't know how to talk to each other, and they're going a little bit crazy. They start hallucinating. It's really cool. Like, it's like, look, the second half of the movie was great. Like, it makes the first half of the movie worth it. I'm glad I stuck through the end. And it's like one of those things where you probably should, if you want to see the second half, you probably should watch the first half. But the first half, they eat the dogs. It was horrible, and I don't like it. But then the second half, they go fucking crazy, and it's like, it's just really good because it's like, it's like you don't know. I mean, I guess like I assume that they got found, right? Because like it's based on a true story, and I'm watching a movie about it, right? So if I'm watching a movie about it, I'm sure they got found, and yeah, they got found. Eventually, their friends came back for them like 2 years later. But anyway, but they go crazy, and it's super interesting to watch them slowly go crazy. But anyway, the dog torture in the first half of the movie really, I mean, oof. But anyway, Netflix lied to me. I'm just gonna say, Netflix algorithm, they lied to me. I went into this movie thinking it's gonna be like a wholesome, like, oh, they're going to explore the world with dog friends, like dogs are gonna be the main character. That's what I'm thinking. Then no, that's not what happened at all. Like, so I got lied to. Netflix lied to me. But I stuck through, and again, the last half of the movie is actually really good. So I'm glad, it's a decent movie. Ugh. Goddamn Bjorn falls off the cliff. I started crying when Bjorn fell off the cliff. In fact, I'm still crying. I'm still crying. I'm still crying right now, actually. Yeah, apparently this movie just came out, right? So it's like Netflix is doing their like advertising campaign. Yeah, March 2nd. So I watched the movie the day of release. Okay, so yesterday was like the first day that this movie came out. So they threw it all over the screen. Goddamn Bjorn fell off the fucking cliff. I was crying. I'm crying.